the question that has been raised repeatedly now of what is the line? How do we take the rumor, which is unsayable gossip, and bring it onto the record to make it sayable and reportable?
They're contractually obligated to be full of shit.
Yeah.
Now they're going like, hey, we're going to be a little less full of shit.
Y'all ain't saying nothing.
I'm surprised to hear you say that you're less hopeful now that you've been, because this feels like a more hopeful time. Like you're just not buying that it can endure.
People are very quick to talk about allyship, and that's what's required, right? Allyship. It's not just black people who need to fortify themselves and vote and whatever else. These are important elements, but we need allyship. And some of these people are 50 and 60 years old, so they have not, in the course of 50 or 60 years, ever once had an instance where they've created a connection with a black person that's strong enough to know this information. And that is devastating. And so while I think lots of people, lots of allies are learning things about their black and brown brothers who are being differentially treated, I am not sure that many people are going to be willing to endure that for much longer. And they're just going to hope that the news cycle will move on.
Like had a running bet about whether you'd show up.
You can't do that. You can't sort of say like, oh my God, please do this, 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 and be like, oh my God, I can't believe you did this.
Trash and white guys. The nerve, where's the camera? The nerve of you white women. Listen, I don't want to speak ill on my peaches here, okay? I don't. Well, let's go back in history here, okay? You guys stood by us toxic white males through centuries of our crimes against humanity. You rolled around in the blood money, and occasionally when you wanted to sneak off and hook up with a black dude, if you got caught, you said it wasn't consensual. Yeah, that's what you did. That's what you did. So why don't you shut up, sit down next to me, and take your talking to?
Unreasonably amazing, and unreasonably awful. I'm going to be, despite all of it, despite my resume, unimpeachable, I'm going to be a thing that my employer wonders, am I worth it? That lack of trust is special. I believe it is the same point.
speaker, what I've come to realize and accept is that thinking of it as like one climb and thinking that when you get there that everything's gonna be all right is a mistake. There are times when I was at top of the mountain, so to speak, where I was like, this is awesome, I'm at the top of the mountain. And there are times when things weren't that great, and I felt good about life. I think it's just the way that you look at the scoreboard, and we all try to make life as simple as movies, or make life as simple as a sporting event, where it's like, okay, this is the goal. And when we do it that way, we always end up being somewhat unfulfilled because nothing is ever that simple. I mean, it feels like you got to a plateau and there's like, there is an even bigger mountain. And also there's a grizzly bear chasing me because if I don't get to the top of this particular mountain, all the other things that I did leading up to this were mistakes that set me up to like be unsuccessful in life. So like it doesn't feel like a mountaintop to me. To that. Many of them don't. I think a lot of coaches justify it by saying that they're pushing buttons. And I wouldn't say that they're wrong. Like, you're pushing different buttons to try to get a reaction out of the player that is potentially not engaged or not focused. So maybe it works sometimes, maybe it doesn't.
Was recorded at 9 o'clock this morning. At 12 noon it was number 15. At 3 o'clock was the number 1 sound in town. And now it's a golden oldie.
Nobody literally knows how this works. So there are people that I think probably do respond better in certain situations that would make us uncomfortable and we say that we don't like. But I do believe in professional sports, there is an obligation and responsibility that you have to each other. So if someone flips out on a player on a pro team, I would say don't do that. That's not cool. You're showing them up. But if this is a continuation of someone who is not participating in practice, not paying attention in meetings, and then they make a mistake that's directly tied to that, like I do think that part of that is letting them know that what you're doing is not just letting you down. Everybody else's money is riding on this too. Everyone else's reputation is riding on this too. And maybe you can find a softer way to do it, but I do know in some of these traditionally masculine scenarios, you're not just coaching to them. That's a performance for everybody else too. So it's like, you know what? You want to be a motherfucker that doesn't do the that we expect of you, then we're gonna embarrass you here. And not that it's right or wrong, that maybe it doesn't get the best out of that person, but it can be cathartic to everyone else on the team that's looking like, see, that's what happens, that's what he deserves. Otherwise, you get your ass beat in the locker room.